Welcome back or welcome to Joy Unfiltered. I'm Rachel, your host, and I am so glad that you are here. This is a space where we stop pretending that burnout is the price of success and start exploring a different way to lead, live, and actually feel good in our lives. Because here is what I believe at my core. Joy is not the reward, it's the strategy. And in a world that's been built on pressure, urgency, and endurance, we're doing things a little bit differently around here. We are choosing energy over exhaustion, regulation over reactivity, connection over competition. And we're doing it in a way that's grounded in both science and maybe a little bit of magic. So whether you are walking, driving, lifting something heavy, or just taking a breath in the middle of a busy day, you are in the right place. So let's get started. Today, we are talking about something that most people completely underestimate. We are going to talk about laughter. Not as entertainment, not as personality, not as something you do when, quote unquote, things are good, but laughter as a leadership strategy. And I want to start here. When was the last time you laughed so hard that you lost track of everything else? Like full body laugh, can't catch your breath, tears streaming down your face. Think about it. When was the last time? I'll tell you, my last time. It was at the gym the other day with my partner. We were laughing so hard that literal tears were streaming down my face. When was yours? That state is not random. That state is regulated. And that is the state where your best thinking, your best connecting, and your best leading happens. Let's start with a lie we've been sold. That serious equals successful. That if you want to be respected, you need to be composed, controlled, and maybe even a little bit removed. So what do we do? What do we do when we've bought that bill of goods? We compartmentalize. We create a work version of ourselves and a real version of ourselves. Maybe we tighten up a little bit, just a little bit in meetings. And then on the weekends, we soften. We perform professionalism during the day and collapse into our real selves at night. And we think, well, this is just what leadership requires. But let me tell you something. Here's what's actually happening underneath all of that. Your nervous system is running the show. Every thought you have creates a chemical response in your body. If you are stressed, your body floods with cortisol. But if you are open, connected, and yes, laughing, your body shifts into an entirely different state. And that state changes everything. Let's talk about the science for a minute, because this is where people start to realize, oh, this isn't fluffy. Laughter. Laughter reduces cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone. Laughter increases endorphins, your natural feel-good chemicals. Laughter boosts oxygen intake, which literally energizes your brain. And laughter activates the vagus nerve, which regulates your nervous system. Laughter also strengthens social bonding and trust. Laughter improves cognitive flexibility, which means that you can think more creatively and solve problems more quickly. So when you laugh, you are not escaping your work, you are upgrading your capacity to do it. You think better. You connect better. You lead better. Laughter is not extra. Laughter is efficiency. Now, let's talk about something I care deeply about, which is part of joy-led leadership, integration over compartmentalization. Because this is where most high-achieving women are stuck. Compartmentalization says, be one person at work, be another person at home. Be strong here and soft over there. Be serious when it matters, but be yourself when it's safe. But your body doesn't work like that. Your nervous system doesn't go, oh, we're in a meeting now? Let me reset everything. No. You carry your state with you. So if you are stressed, overwhelmed, tight, disconnected, you bring that into every room. But if you are grounded, open, present, and yes, a little lighter, you bring that too. Integration means you stop turning yourself off and on, and you start leading from a consistent, regulated state. It means your humanity is not something you hide. It's actually something you leverage. And this is where laughter becomes so powerful. Because laughter collapses the walls. Laughter brings your body and your mind into the same moment. And it connects you to other people instantly. It interrupts stress patterns. It shifts your it shifts your physiology in real time. It's one of the fastest ways to move from pressure to presence, from control to connection, from exhaustion to energy. And those are the exact states that leadership requires. So let's really make this real. If you feel like you are constantly on, if you are exhausted from making decisions all day, and you know who you are, if you are doing all the things but still feel disconnected or flat, it's not because you need more discipline. It's because your system is dysregulated. And you are trying to lead from depletion instead of regulation. And guess what? Laughter is one of the fastest ways to shift that. Not the only way, but one of the most accessible ways. And maybe one of the most ignored. So let's talk about how to actually integrate this into your life. Not in a forced way, because we can't actually force laughter, right? Not in a performative way, but in a real, sustainable way. Number one, why not start your day with lightness? Before your phone, before your email, before you step into everyone else's expectations, give your body a different signal. Maybe you watch something that makes you laugh, something that makes you smile. Maybe you move your body. Even a 30-second shift changes your baseline. Because we've talked about this before, your brain is highly programmable in the morning. We are in that theta brainwave state in those first 5 to 30 minutes in the morning, so we can literally brainwash ourselves. And most of us are programming stress before your feet hit the floor. So why not program a little bit of joy and laughter? Number two, create micro moments. I'm not talking about carving out a whole hour to watch a movie or a sitcom or a whole hour to laugh. This is just about letting small, micro moments in. Send the voice memo instead of the perfectly written text. Share that funny meme with a friend. Let a moment in a meeting breathe instead of rushing through it. Laughter doesn't need time. It just needs space. So, micro moments. And number 3, redefine professionalism. Because somewhere along the way, we decided that professional means serious. But let me offer you a different definition. Professional means effective. And effectiveness comes from clarity, connection, and regulation. Not rigidity, not perfection, not performance. Warmth builds trust faster than perfection ever will. Every single time. Number 4, let your body lead. Our bodies are constantly giving us information. If you feel tight, if you feel heavy, if you feel disconnected, that's not something to ignore. That's data. And laughter is one way to respond to that data. Movement is another, breath is another, connection is another. But the key is you respond. Instead of just ignoring, instead of pushing through, listen to your body. Number 5, lead. If you are in a leadership role, whether that is in your business, your team, your family, your community, people are not just following your words. People are responding to your state. They can feel it. If you are tense, they feel it. If you are rushed, they mirror it. If you are disconnected, guess what? They also disconnect. But if you are regulated, open, and yes, able to access some lightness and laughter, they settle. They also open. They perform better. Now, this is not just being the quote-unquote fun leader. This is about being the regulated leader. And laughter is one of the ways that shows up. So here's what I want you to take from this episode today. Laughter is not a break from leadership. Laughter is not a break from leadership. It is the pathway into better leadership. Laughter is not a distraction. Laughter is a reset. Laughter is not something you earn after the work is done. Laughter is something that allows you to do the work better. And if you are listening to this and thinking, okay, I get it, I'm listening, I understand, I'm there, but I don't know how to actually live this way. That's why I created the Joy-Led Leadership Forum. Because this is not about adding more to your plate. It is about changing the way you operate. From endurance to joy. From urgency to regulation. From compartmentalization to integration. And from competition to connection. This is leadership that actually feels good. And it works. So if this is speaking to you, if you are ready, if you are raising your hand to say, I am ready to feel more clear, more connected, more energized in the way you lead, join us. Join us at the Joy-Led Leadership Forum. It's happening May 19th to the 21st, and it's going to be one of the most real, practical, and transformative leadership experiences that you've ever been part of. And maybe there'll even be a little bit of laughter. But until then, I do want you to notice one thing today. Where are you holding your tension that could be softened? Where are you taking yourself so seriously that it is costing you energy? And where could you let just a little bit more lightness in? Not because everything is perfect, not because the hard stuff doesn't exist, but because you are choosing a different way to lead. And let us know. Drop us a note. What spoke to you today? Download this episode, share this with others, and remember, Rachel, and from my heart to yours, I am celebrating you today and every day. So have fun, live well, enjoy.